I mentioned Dr. Randall Wood. He's our associate pastor at Dublin Baptist Church. He's been very instrumental in helping us with the LN4 project that we have going on in Haiti. And, Randall was actually in Haiti a few months ago and got a chance to work with David and Eric there to help them start the clinic and start fitting arms. It was really interesting. I just want to say a couple words how this happened. Randall's had an affiliation. He and our Japanese minister, Masashi Sugita, have had a relationship with the Bellevue series of churches in Haiti for several years and go down there at times to help them. Because of the earthquake and the disaster and some of their churches, some of the 7 churches actually being destroyed, Randall and our missions committee, our church, invited them to come up and talk to us. You remember the 2 that came, Eric and David came here. So with that, I saw an interesting story and a lot of pictures and two people, one minister, one deacon, that had a great story to give about the firsthand things that were happening in Haiti with the earthquake. And I thought, well, this is a great opportunity if some speaker doesn't show up to get this story across to Rotarians. So I called Jim, and Jim said, well, you know, everything is filled up, but wow, interesting you would call, because we just had a board meeting and we were talking about how could we get maybe the hand project in Haiti. So from that point on, a marriage was kind of made. Randall came and brought them, and Jim and Scott Williamson met with Randall, and Randall represented our club really in Haiti a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, whatever, and started the fitting. So with that, let me shut up and let me welcome Dr. Randall Wood.
Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be back with you. I was here in March with Eric and David from Bellevue Salem Church in Haiti, having no idea what would transpire in the next few months, and the opportunity to pack 2 suitcases full of LN4s and take them to Haiti on the 25th of June. So I want to talk to you today about the power of partnership, a partnership that is so creative that we could not have put this together. We know that we have had divine help and guidance in putting this together, but you see the 4 key players here, the Dublin AM Rotary Club, the LN4 Foundation, a picture of our church, Dublin Baptist, and then a picture of Eric Descopain and Ishmael, one of the pastors at Bellevue Salem Church, actually doing the fitting. Let's see if I can make this gizmo work. What do I have to do here? To advance. The answer is hit the right button, I guess. Let me figure this out. Here we go. So here's a picture of the fitting clinic we had on June 30th of this year at Bellevue Salem 2, which is a church of about 2,000 members, part of the Bellevue Salem community in Port-au-Prince. And it was interesting because we had sent 12 hands home with Eric. You guys had sent him home in March with 12 hands to kind of do an evaluation, but they had yet to have a fitting clinic, and I could tell that it was very intimidating for them to think about trying to do this without some help. And it was very intimidating for me, quite frankly, because I'm not a medical professional. My wife was a nurse, but that doesn't hardly qualify me to go around the world fitting hands on amputees. So it was a bit intimidating, but we were determined to go for it and try it and see what we could learn from it. So it was very interesting. This gentleman, Louis Medier, in the center of the picture, in the white shirt and the bald head, made a comment. An amputee in Haiti goes from poverty to misery, and here's a picture of what misery looks like. Clairville had lost both her left arm and her right hand in the earthquake. And on her face, I was trying to decide how to capture that look. And I realized that Mr. Medier, who is the minister in the Secretary of State's office, the minister to the handicapped in the country of Haiti, and himself an amputee, he lost his leg 15 years ago. When he made that statement, an amputee in Haiti goes from poverty to misery, I realized that's the look on her face. That's the look of misery. So we announced that we were going to have this fitting clinic on June 30th. We'd been in country since the 25th, and to give people notice. And so there were about 25 or 30 people who showed up that day wanting help. Now, sadly, about half of them we had to send home because they did not qualify. They did not have sufficient residual below the elbow for us to fit them. And that was tough to send them home, because they're like, what do you have that will help us? It's estimated that there have been over 1,500 amputees in the country as a result of the earthquake. So there's a great need here. And so we started the fitting clinic, and I was so impressed with Eric and especially Ishmael, his colleague here, how they jumped in, and you know, I kind of did the very first one, but after that it was all about letting the Haitians do the fittings. And here they are giving Clairville a hand, and here she is writing her name on the back of her form right after she had been fitted. And everyone was impressed with the fact that these hands are so functional, you can literally be using them 2 minutes after you've been fitted. And I'm sure because the Haitians are such a creative people and a people of great initiative, and they have to be just to survive, that they will find uses for these hands that we've never even thought of or imagined. I'll be looking forward to hearing more about that. This young lady, her name is Lundy, and she was an artist before losing her right hand in the earthquake. And she was so appreciative to receive a hand. And her comment, as she opened the bag and saw the picture inside of the people who had packed the LN4s into the little pouch that they're given, and they decorate the pouch, it's all wonderful. She said, I want to paint them a picture and send it to them now that I have a hand. And she was very excited about that. And if I can make this work, I will show you some video of her actually writing her name. Let's see if I can do that. Here we go. I was able, just thought to capture some of that. That was very quick, and I've got another one here in a minute of someone else. But it was very interesting to be able to see them write their names immediately after being fitted. So we learned a lot about the process. We're going to watch it again. By doing this, and again, the hands are very functional. They're very simple. One of the big challenges. Okay, I got what I'm doing wrong. Pardon me just a moment. Here we go. One of the challenges of figuring this out when you've never done it before is the strapping that goes from the Velcro that attaches the hand down to the fingers. And Pastor Masashi, who you see here in the background, he really jumped into this project. He'd never even seen these hands before. He carried 35 of them in his suitcase. He didn't even know what he was carrying. And then this day of the fitting clinic, he really took charge of the strapping and figuring out how to adjust them and teaching. You see he's got 3 guys around him there, teaching them how to do the strapping. Well, let me introduce you to some more folks who benefited from your generosity in making this happen. Ketsia was the very first client that we had that morning in the fitting clinic, and she had lost her left hand. Ketsia is 20 years old, and she had lost her hand in the earthquake, and she was very, very pleased to receive the first hand that we had fitted. By the way, you see these pews, the wooden pews in the church, the concrete floor. Maybe it'll make you appreciate the pews in your own church a little differently the next time you sit down there. And then the second lady we fitted was very interesting. Her name's Katya, and she was a nurse. And she had lost her right hand in the earthquake just below the elbow. And she was very appreciative because I could tell that she got it very quickly. She understood what she was going to be able to do with this hand and how much it was going to be able to help her return to nursing. And so she was very appreciative, very grateful, and immediately was writing her name. We were working literally. All we had was an ink pen to test the hands with. You're supposed to have a toothbrush and a cup and all these. Well, we didn't have any of that. We had an ink pen, to show them how to use it. So writing their name was the best way to put that into practice. But we also showed them different grips with the hand, and they understood that very quickly. That was good.